Accucare Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Brick, New Jersey offers a state-of-the-art facility with all the best and current treatments. With athletic trainers, massage therapists, and doctors of physical therapy, Accucare has everything you need to stay healthy and perform at the highest level. Cupping, stretching, laser therapy, compression boots, and a full-body cryo chamber are just some of what you can expect at Accucare. Check out their website and social media links in my bio. No prescription is needed to see them. So call them today and start feeling and performing at your best. Again, thank you to Accucare for sponsoring the Shore Football Report. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Accucare High School Football Preview Show, Monmouth County Edition. Tonight, we are going to talk Howell Rebels football with head football coach Bill Hill in his second year. Coach Hill, thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. You've been excellent. I've been following your show throughout this whole year, and I'm just glad to be back part of it.
Yeah, it's some great things happening. Before we get to you and the Rebels, who we want to talk about today, we got two great things that I'm proud about with the Shore Football Report. We got better. The Shore Football Report got better this offseason. The Dream Team was added. We have Accucare and Brick Physical Therapy. Pam Anthony, the founder and owner of that great business and high-tech equipment that they have, is going to be there for all the athletes this year.
Oh, nice.
And
Right.
we have a great plan. She's got a great plan on, and you know as well as I do, being an athlete, it's important that you are excelling on the field because you take care of your body, right?
Yes, 100%.
You know a little bit about that. You were kind of an
yeah.
athlete back in the day.
Yeah, I take care of your body.
Well, she is awesome. She's got this high tech. Now, you were playing ball back in the 70s. We
Correct.
used to put ice in the tub and fall in the tub and cool off. They actually have chambers now that they open up, they put it in. You just see the person's head. They cool off their whole body, and none of that ice bathtub anymore. No
Oh,
more.
wow, that's great.
Yeah. They have some high-tech equipment that she has, and it's not just for preventive, it's for recovery.
Yes.
She's fantastic. State-of-the-art equipment, outstanding staff that she has there, and she's excited to kind of be a part of the Shore Conference football. Really is.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing.
Great thing. Other thing we have is Scott Stump was just hired. He's back.
Scott before.
We
Great.
brought him back.
Yeah,
We brought him
he's
back. He's excited. He's got the pen out. He's going to be writing articles on all you guys. And, we want to make sure that we are doing our job for you guys because you're working hard, you coaches and the players. And we want to make sure that we're covering you guys the best of our ability. And we want to get better. And I think we got better.
I think so.
I think so. Well, I know so.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about you. Interesting. First of all, when you got hired last year, I was excited. I'm all about bringing back alumni.
Right.
You've coached all over the place. You have, and you'll talk about it. But you came back home.
Yes.
That's special.
Oh, yeah,
1977. I think you graduated in 77. Is that true?
Yes, I graduated 77. Correct.
3-sport athlete, 2-sport all-state football and baseball. But you scored and you talk more about this. You scored 1,000, and my buddy's the head coach there, Coach Ramsey. You scored 1,000 points in basketball too.
Yeah, we back in those days, you really played those three sports. So it just kind of worked out. I got my sophomore year, I had a couple hundred, and I got some the next year. Then I was kind of in range, so I told the boys I'm gonna be throwing some up.
Now
So it worked out.
you scored 1,000. Were there any assists back then? Did you throw any
Oh yeah,
passes?
yeah, yeah. There was a lot of I was point guard stuff like that. So we didn't have a 3 point line and all that. I remember
No, no.
I took a shot at the top of the key, made the shot, and the coach yelled at me. But it's a 3 point play now. Coach Petula, my man, Coach Petula.
You probably would have scored 1,500 if you had the 3 point line that every kid likes to shoot and heave. Now,
Oh yeah, they shoot them up there.
there's no such
Ramsey
thing as
used to shoot 'em.
layups anymore. It's the
Yeah.
3 point shot.
Yes.
Good, thanks,
Yes.
Stephen Curry, for that. But Coach, I want to talk about you, or I want to hear your story, the process, on how all the stops you were at, and then you came home to coach at Howell. And when I talk to the players about you, they talk about how you're known all over the community. And I love hearing that. I love that the kids know a little bit of a history of you, but you have so much history. You probably coached some of their relatives or played with their relatives in the past from Howell on your team now.
Yeah. I just for the most part, not. I know some of the like they take one of my coaches, Dave Jimerson, who's a police officer now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that he coached me, but his I coach his father, so it goes. I probably go back a little bit further than some of that. But most of the kids I know now, I've done 20 some years with football camps in Howell
Mm-hmm.
in the summertime. So and just being back in Howell, you just kind of know you go around the whole area. You go through town in Farmingdale and down nine. You know some of the businesses, the owners, and everything. So it's kind of like a real nice thing to be, back at home to coach, back at your hometown.
Coach, press rewind right now in your head. Take me
Yeah.
back to when you first started to where you are right now as the head coach at Howell. So let's hear some of the stops and
You mean
some
the
names.
the coaching part?
Yes.
The coach. Okay, coaching. I think when I mean, it's a long list, but I think it was all valuable stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I moved around a lot, but it was kind of like you kind of just wanted this, just wherever. Actually kind of reminded me of some of those guys in college and NFL. Those guys, a lot of guys don't stay around in the same staffs a long time. I think I may have first started. My first job might have been with I think Leroy Hayes in Asbury Park.
Right.
Coached with him a little bit in Asbury. Coached with John Amabil in Neptune when Sky Harley was a running back, and
Yep.
Danny. I played coach there. I probably I coached with Lynn Rivers. I probably got my first shot in the early mid '90s with Lynn Rivers in Lakewood. I
Mm-hmm.
was associated. That was he gave me a title. It was kind of people still talk about it now. Nobody runs offense and nobody you do both, but at that time, I coached, I ran the offense, and it was my defense. I did both sides of the ball. I had great players. I got one of the better players I had who I just saw Wednesday, Dave Ellis,
Mm-hmm.
one of my better players from Lakewood back in the '90s. From there, I went back to we started out 0-3, and we ended up being ranked eighth in the shore that year. And that was great. Later on, I went down to Asbury. Asbury had got some kind of bad. But listen, I love that '97, '98 team in
Yeah.
Asbury. It was one of the best teams I ever been around with some of those players. Uh, later on, I moved around. I think eventually, uh, uh, Mike Smith, who had coached with us in Lakewood
Mm-hmm.
in the '90s, he was my linebacker coach. He became the head coach at Jackson.
Yep. Yep.
And then in 2005, he asked me to coach with him. And actually, we went undefeated. Actually, I have a state championship ring from that team, 2005 team.
They were pretty good back then.
That team. That team was stacked. I remember I had 40. I had 40 DBs.
Yeah.
My lines were five groups of eight. At the time.
That was what Castellano, right?
We had no. That was right after that year. Uh, we had the big lineman. Actually can't think of some of these
McCarthy?
guys. No, I can't think. We had a couple. The quarterback was Lavin. Remember the
I
quarterback was
remember.
Lavin?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that group
Edwards.
there.
Edwards?
Yeah, no, that was right after. Right after. I think that's before. I think I was still right after Edwards, but that was a good group. It was a 2005 graduating class, and then now think about it, I can't think of most of the players there. But that was a really solid
That
class.
was a good team. Yeah.
The kids worked. That was one of the hardest working group of kids I ever had been around. And then I went to I think it was Times River South. My first year in 2000, it might have been 2008. Actually, we were 5-5 that year, and then we struggled the last 2 years. They moved us up. We was a group Class B. Then we moved up to Class A. We struggled a bunch of injuries. Struggled from there, and then I think once it got later on in the I worked with Dave Ellis a little bit back in later on in the late early was 211, 212, something like that.
Hmm.
I think eventually I ended up going down. There's some stops I'm missing in here, but I eventually went down to with Martucci, who back when he took the job over in
St. John Vianney.
John Vianney, and I didn't know I knew Charlie, but I didn't know Jay. But I saw that Joe was going there, and he had a couple of those, a couple of those guys. I got a chance. I just wanted to be in that group. So
Sure.
me and Jay talk about 3 or 4 times a week. Jay Bellamy, his son is that. I
Hmm.
coach his son. I wouldn't. I said, no, Jay, I'm not coaching your son because I was coaching corners, he was coaching safeties, but I didn't want to be. I know you got to know Jay. So that was great. And working with Joe, actually, I just talked to Joe uh, yesterday, just talking about some things that he emphasized on. I want to touch on some of my notes. I got some new guys there. And then from there, I was there. Joe was leaving, and Mike came in as the head coach. And then Frank Edgley called me that to come. How would I like to come work with him at with Howell?
Hmm.
I said I got a great job with these guys up here at St. John Vianney. But I eventually just kind of went with Frank, and then he stayed 1 year. And then I got the chance to be the head coach at Howell right after that.
I remember when you had. I remember when you had that decision because you were going to
Yeah,
stay at St. John Vianney, and then you had that opportunity at Howell. What do I do? I think you made the right decision
yeah,
right
it
now.
came out right. Actually, I was going to be the OC at
Yeah. Yeah.
St. John Vianney, and Mike's a great. He gave me Joe's office because he was athletic director. So he didn't
Mhm.
need the office. And Danny and those guys, they were great guys. But that was one of the hardest decisions I ever made because I'm still Eddie Hernandez, linebacker. I'm still
Yeah.
friends with all those guys over there. Yeah, so that was a hard decision. And then when I got over here, the coronavirus came in, and for right now we're Hal. But this is great. Now this is the first time right now. My first year we didn't have an
No.
weight room. And then most teams had it last year, but we didn't have weight room last year. The field district. So this was the first, right? The Monday after Thanksgiving, we had a full off season. So I'm excited
We're
about.
going to talk about your weight
Yeah,
room in a
yeah,
little
that's
bit. In a little
yeah.
bit.
That's how I ended up. Yep.
The thing that brings up with you is every time I bring your name up, people know you. So I could go travel anywhere in the short conference, like, oh, I know Bill, I know him. He was with me here or there. So a lot of people know you and recognize you. So when you bring all that stuff to Howell, that's great. I mean, all your stops, your pro career that you did, now
Right.
you're coming to Howell with all those connections, and that's got to help your program now at Howell, huh?
Yeah, I think it helps. I think I always looked at it. The more being around different people, you learn. I mean, you always learn different
Yeah,
things. I mean, one of my mentors was a guy named Jim Garrett, and he was the kind
yeah.
of guy you put more stuff in another book in the library. So I kind of
Mm.
looked at it that you always learning something. Even now, you're still learning. You've been around and keep different ways of doing things. So still having fun.
Jim Garrett was very good with you. What's one thing you took from Jim?
Uh, the big thing, I remember one time I asked coach because at that time I was just obviously I was a running back when I went to college at University of Virginia, and I played wide receiver and DB. So I was more of a skill guy. So I asked him about what do I need to do about maybe got some young coaches and didn't maybe they need a little help on it about their position. He said, "Well, that's your fault. You need to be that library that they could come to you about any position on the field." So at that point, that was the one thing. So you learn you now you
Hmm.
have to learn your D line, your O line. You learned every part of the game. So I thought that was a big thing that settled in my mind. You want to at least you don't have to control it, but you at least want to be able to know a lot what's going on.
Right.
So that was a big thing.
Well, Coach, we got a lot to talk about today. Interesting process with you. Been all over the place. Are you ready to talk Howell football?
Oh yeah,
All right, I'm going to take this off. No more masks, Coach. No more COVID or pods.
right,
Tell me something. These poor seniors did not have a normal offseason workouts for 2 years. That's
right,
basically after their freshman football season was their last time they worked out in a normal routine.
correct.
Under your direction now, tell us what a normal offseason is going to look like under your belt.
Normal off season, I talked to Pete Meany, and he said this is exactly what we did. The day after, usually that time the states start in December, but the Monday after Thanksgiving, we started lifting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we had a testing right before Christmas. Then we came back in January. So a normal process for me is a full weightlifting program all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a whole season right there. Then once you got to the spring, we started get outside a little bit, running on pro agilities and ladders and stuff like that, getting guys ready for camp. So that's like another section. And then once you get into June 20th, when we were allowed to officially practice, my biggest thing was trying to get guys ready for, especially not just the guys going to be seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Those college camps were huge, and I always felt like I didn't want to just do X, what we need to do, but I talked to the D coordinator Rutgers a couple of weeks ago. The biggest thing they strive on still, and I emphasized that 40-yard dash to see they want to see if you could play at that level. So I really try to push that summertime for the getting the guys try to get looked at in college.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. And then we turn the corner right now with the getting ready for now. You got camp, which is like August camp. That's like another section of it before you start the season. So that's normal. That's a normal process for me. I try to stay close to what I knew when the off season were from even some colleges do. You got to have a weightlifting is big, and you got to have some explosion type stuff also. You know, do a lot of
You you do a very good job with marketing your players. I mean, it's important because you've been there, done it, and
I
you want to
know, yeah,
create the same opportunities for a Howell kid. We were at the Shore Best camp, and you were talking to the guys about that first step could get you to point A to point B. So you better take it seriously. That first step out of the 40 or the first step out of the the snap of the ball, you can win or lose a game or win or lose a
yeah,
scholarship with that too.
yes, for sure.
You
Yeah,
know.
I just think that's important for the kids to understanding about the whole process. I'm big on fueling your body too,
Hmm.
nutrition, body. You can't just lift weights and not eat. I'm big on the whole structure of how you got to perform. You got to look the part too when the guys come to look at you. So this been, I think, is the kids bought in real well. Uh, the weight room was just outstanding. We ended up getting shirts for like 1,000 pound club, and just for the numbers that jumped up on there, you just feel like at least you did something. Everybody was excited, and everybody wanted a shirt then too. So that was a good thing too.
But the eyeball test, you're darn right, because they don't have to, just because they come to see you doesn't mean they have to like you. They have.
Correct.
I mean,
Right.
when you bring a coach into this your school or you're going to their campus, they're going to get a first impression. They're either going to like
Yeah.
what they say or not like what they say. And I
Yeah.
always tell them,
Right.
just like when you're going out on a date with a girl, you either like it or don't like it right
Right.
away.
Right.
Same ways with recruiting. So just because you're seeing a college coach doesn't mean he's all in too.
Well,
So
they got to look. I told them, the guys coming to the building, you got to look the part. I can't, you got to look the part. They don't, you've been a coach, and these guys coming in from, all these good schools, and you know, it's important that you got to look the part. If you don't kind of look like you're big enough, like you're 165 pounds playing inside backer, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. And I try to tell the guys, and I try to tell the parents that too. So weightlifting is huge. That was just using that as a linebacker, but there's a whole lot
the,
go with it. I mean,
the old cookie cutter, when
yeah.
they college coaches have what they want a kid to look like for certain positions.
Well, yeah.
And
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're a college coach, you know some of the skill guys you could get away with it just your speed, but some guys you got to look the part. So we got some linemen up in 270s, 280s, that kind of thing now. So I really love that. Really love that.
Good. Tell the kids to wear 2, 3 pairs of socks. They'll be bigger that way, right? Always tell them that. Interesting take, Coach. Back to normal. It's good to be back to normal to get your kids working out in the weight room and also exposure for colleges, which you've done. Coach, you know you need outstanding coaches for your football program. Tell us your. Let's hear some names from your 2022 coaching staff this season.
Well, obviously, my son Bill Jr. We worked together back in Manchester a few years ago. He was with Coach Neck, and I was
Mm-hmm.
able to bring him over. He kind of calls the defense. He co-coordinates with me. I'm still a part of it, mostly behind the scenes. He also coaches wide receivers. I brought back an old friend, Tom Bradley, who was a part of my staff in Lakewood. He was successful in Lakewood in the '90s and Asbury in the '90s. He could work with both sides of the line. He'll be working with both sides and maybe with some of the run defensive stuff. One interesting guy I brought over was Kim Bradley. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he played with college ball. I think it was Ithaca or something. He just finished playing in Mexico. He was playing professional football. He's another outstanding guy that's in the coaching room. We got Jack Zuli. He was a college quarterback, and I think he won the was it East Stroudsburg, I believe he was. It was like equivalent to the Heisman. He's a quarterback, equivalent to
Mm-hmm.
the Heisman Trophy as Division two. I mean, he's out there whipping the ball 75, 80 yards. Like it's kind of fun to watch. Len Alpin, he was with the head coach of the New Jersey Was it the Warriors? Is right.
Yeah.
Head coach. He's another solid guy that knows his stuff. He was a head coach, so I mean, he knows the physical part of the game. Uh, yeah, just a great find. One day we was looking he was right across the street there at the middle school. Adam Sacco, played at Marlboro. Started 4 years at Colgate, scholarship at D line coach. Very physical
Mm-hmm.
type coach. Admire him a lot. Also, he's been there for since Frank came in. Our freshman coaches are Larry Peslak, and Larry actually played at Howell, and they did it the last couple of years. They had some. Actually, last year was undefeated. He's done a great job. Him and Nick with the freshman programs. They're in the building, so I really kind of let because we have a lot of kids and they have a lot of kids to deal with, so I kind of let them do their thing down there. But that's a very important part
Yep.
of what we do over here. I'm just very excited with the guys. We all work well together, and it's been going real smooth. I think that's pretty much. And I have one guy's pretty. I got a guy Angelo from out. He's our team manager. I met him in the school one day. He wanted to learn how to be a football scout. So that's my huddle guy,
Mm-hmm.
now.
Oh
So he
God.
does all that stuff. I'm teaching him how to huddle, break down the distance, and ODK, and then all that kind of stuff. So that's
You
he's a
taught him that, or he
good.
wait? You taught him that, or he taught you that?
No, you got to understand first down, second down, third down
Yeah.
tendency. So I'm big. I mean, actually,
Good.
the guy that's a Dave. I got to still bring. He's still on the staff. If you like him, like Dave Jimerson played at Howell. He played at Kane with the
Yeah.
fellas up there. All those guys up there. He played and coached and film breakdown. So he was the main guy. So, but I still like get him out there all the time. He's one of those really down and this new tendency type guys, and he's a corner. I started coaching him like Bill when he was 7 years old as a defensive back. So uh, that's pretty much the staff right there.
Coach, the game has evolved so much. Think about it. We're doing huddle now. We used to
Yeah,
exchange film. I was talking to Coach Sicardo the other day. We used to exchange film. We used to travel
remember
30
that?
miles to meet in a
Yeah, the
central
stage film.
spot and then
Yeah,
and then complain when the other coach comes 5 minutes late when he was supposed to
yeah,
come, and we would give him the films and then we would leave. Now we do it all digitalized. We're on the computer.
oh
We have
yeah,
huddle. Um, the game's changed a lot with huddle. You were just talking about getting people's tendencies.
Yeah,
How
I mean,
much,
we
if you
invented
really
some
think
things.
about from the time you started coaching to now, it's like, whoa, like the technology part of coaching, huh?
Right. I think with the film, you just had to write everything down. First play, first and 10.
That's
You
it.
wrote everything down on a piece of paper.
And if somebody
Second
took
down.
your paper, you were
Yeah,
lost
yeah,
because you
yeah.
didn't make a
That's we
copy
come
of it.
on. We come. Yeah, I don't. You know who was really good at this? Jay was good. He said, "Why we got to come in? You get on your tape, I get on my tape.
Yeah,
We'll watch play 50 from 50 to we watched the
yeah,
whole second half
yeah,
together, and you stay home, I stay home. So with the Zoom and the
yeah.
huddle stuff, I love working with the Jay. We got a lot more done without traveling. So
When I
that was
when I was at Lacey, Coach Rosillo used to write everything on his napkins. So I would come in there after a meal, start wiping my face and throw it out. He'd come back, he starts flipping at me. What are you doing? It's the game plan. I go, well, the game plan's got ketchup all over it and it's thrown out
yeah.
now.
Lou's a
Or
great guy. I love Lou. Lou's a great
so the game has changed so
guy.
much, and us coaches, we have to keep adapting because if we don't, those young coaches coming up the ranks are going to be so good with these computers. I'm not
Oh
going to let
yeah,
nobody outwork me with the short football
right.
report with
Yeah,
the
I know
Zooms.
that.
But this stuff here, we have to adapt, or we're going to get lost because the game has really evolved to you got to be good teacher also with the computer.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. You better be on top of it.
Got to.
Everybody's good now. All the coaches are good. There's no games. No games you could go in and you know exactly what they're doing every down. The guys, a lot of staffs are there. Most of these guys are really on top of the game.
Yeah, tendencies,
Yeah.
tendencies, and technology. All right, coach. To the left is your 2022 football schedule. To the right is the Constitution Division. Can you talk briefly about your schedule, and then we'll talk a little bit about your new division?
Yes. The schedule, first of all, is Central comes to us. Very physical team. They got a very physical offense. The back is a 2,000 yard back down there. Then you got Jackson, who's they're like I said, I coached Jackson in 2005. Actually, the head coach of Jackson was one of my DBs, and they still run the same. They're going to run down. They want to try to go run off tackle down your throat. They're kind of similar. Central and Jackson, Prio Township, they do a great job with their running. They call it, I don't know what they call it. I call it running shoot type thing because
Yep.
they can find different matchups and stuff like that. You almost playing a different type of thing against them than you do in the first couple games. Uh, Marlboro is a very good team. Their program has changed in the last few years. The coach has done a great job out there.
Yeah.
They were like they were in a little I formation now. Wall with coach just came back, who's from Manalapan. You actually go back and watch the Manalapan tape 3 or 4 years ago. We still got that fellow, which is good.
Darn
And
right.
he's going to be pretty much like that. So then you got Coast Neck, so you got four teams. Wall, Coast Neck, Central, Jackson are pretty much thumpers coming downhill. Uh, then you got Southern, who Chuck is one of the better coaches. I've known Chuck for the head coach for years. One of the top coaches in the short conference. He's going to be thorough. Then Frio Burrow, Austin, and Dave Ellis. They're in that empty set, and Dave Ellis is one of my best players that I've ever had. So
That
the
empty set.
schedule is
Yep.
full. The schedule is full. And then for the conference, it's really weird. We just did a 7-on-7. You're trying to do some 7-on-7 with these guys, and you're trying to hold some stuff back, but it was kind of hard because some guys, it's kind of hard.
You're a
You're trying to,
competitive coach.
yeah,
Stop. You're too competitive. You don't want to lose even in checkers.
right. And
I
then
right.
for Jackson is for my school district. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jackson. So it's a tough conference.
The Bill Hill I know doesn't want to lose checkers, chess,
Nah, nah. Well, I
backgammon.
won't say. Not only hold back, I'm saying you want to show these guys. They're looking at everything. That's what I mean. You don't. You want to keep some guys out if you could.
Coach, in that division to the right, it basically is the Freehold School District without Manalapan and just Jackson's in its place. So
Correct.
a lot, these kids probably all know each other. Teachers kind of might work one building and
Yeah.
coach at the other. There's a lot of familiarity with that. One board of education. So there's a lot of excitement in this division right here. Yes, you just had your 7-on-7 at your place at Howell. It was a great. It was a nice time seeing everybody. Listen, football is football. These kids ain't gonna remember when you're in twins, you're running this combination and all that. They just want to compete. But this division is very, very from top to bottom, a lot of parity. Jackson lost a lot. I think they were 3-6 last year, and it was their first losing record in like 10 years. They got a lot of guys back, and I'm going to put money on it. They're not going to be having the same season they had last year, Coach. They're scary, just like you. You were in a lot of close games with a lot of guys back. I see you and Jackson and two teams that are going to be very scary because of you've been there, done it, and now you're going to win those close games. And do you see yourself like Jackson coming into this season?
I think, like I said, we lost some close games, um, but it's still funny. This is a different year. You still got to just come prepared. Everybody got to come prepared and play hard. Yeah, they like a couple of other teams may have a little better year, but I just see it's parity all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody that you could say, I mean, I could go to my high school right now and I may see a couple of Howell kids that live in they'll be right on the field there. I can't think of those running backs. I shake their hand when I see them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The running back over there for all those kids in Pop Warner. That you know a lot of the kids, but I think the parity there, I could see maybe us, but I don't see anybody that there's nobody. You got to play every game, every play to the end of the whistle. And that's what I see. I don't see no. Yeah, I'm trying to. I
So,
learned something from Pop
Coach,
Rich. You just go make a
some
PMI,
unique, some
positive
unique,
attitude.
Coach, some unique styles of play. You look at Frio Township; they air it out. You
Yes,
go to Frio Borough, they spread you out in
right,
empty and they run the ball and throw it. And then you have Colts Neck that will play 20 personnel, 21 personnel, and they'll pound the football. They'll pound
right.
the football. Then you have Marlboro that likes to do a little of everything with that. So there's a lot of different styles of play, but a lot of good football programs that all have the same expectations this year, and that's to win the division title and also go into the state playoffs. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I respect all the programs to the utmost. Like you just like I said before, if you were there to 707, you competing as hard as you can, and you're getting the kids to try to compete to the highest level, and and that's every time we're out there trying to get better because we know that nobody's giving you anything, and you just got to keep working at it.
All right, Coach, can you tell us what you guys are going to run offensively and defensively?
Uh, we could be in a lot of different formations. Obviously, we got like we threw the ball for like a good number of yards last year, and four of those guys are back.
Mm-hmm.
But one guy we got back is running back too. Brent Wright. I think he's a legit tailback. He's been to some big D1 college camps, and so we have the ability. Bottom line is, I think everybody has this, but you got you got your for pass, you got your quick game, your main game, long game, inside run, outside run. So we want to attack. We want to be efficient, trying to attack the whole field. That you know,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be efficient enough to me nowadays to attack the whole field. If they're crowding and crowding and crowding, and you're still they got 11 10 guys at the line, 9 guys at the line of scrimmage. You're stopping the run. So it's all about planning and seeing what people were trying to do to take away. And once you get into you don't know, what people's tendencies are, stuff like that. But you got to make your adjustments. Now, defensively, uh, uh, like I said, I told about the weapons on offense, and I didn't give up everything.
Mm-hmm.
We got a few quarterbacks in there that are efficient with the ball passing, and so we might some things we could do. On defensively, I still think it's all about the line of scrimmage. You gotta be able. Your front seven, has to play physical football, and that could dictate if you can't play physical football up front. You start gambling with, leaving guys in some
Mm-hmm.
zones open, or you start, doing too many other things. And I think we gotta. we got a bunch of guys coming back that the front seven that I think we got actually is a lot of it's I mean we're rotating some guys in there that I mean you could at this point right now. Normally in the season, you might could lose a guy to get nicked up or something, but you could rotate some guys. You don't miss a beat. So that's what I'm loving about the front seven. The back half, the back guys, the guys in the back. You got some guys flying around back there, very athletic. I handle that. The secondary, that's my thing. I play corner, and guys are running around. Guys want to play. So it's just been fun to try to put this puzzle together. So
Definitely a puzzle. You do have pieces, and you are going to be very multiple and strategic in offense and defense. And we're going to talk more names in a couple minutes. Coach, I like this part. I wanted to do something special for our talk show and present top position groups for every
right,
program. So I did my research. While you guys are practicing, I'm looking at film and calling people up or trying to look at them, eyeball them at camps. And here's my breakdown for you guys. And I got a chance to see a lot of you guys in your
right,
7-on-7s and the Shore Best camp. So I
right,
feel pretty good that I know your team. And here
right.
we go. All right. I think offensively, your strength are your receivers and tight ends. And hear me out. I think you got
Yes.
two of the best tight ends in the Shore. Hands down. You got the two best combinations. You have Damian Padilla, an outstanding senior, big strong guy, and junior Declan Flaherty. Remember that name, Declan Flaherty, big junior
Oh
tight
yeah.
end, and Kevin Maloney, a wide receiver that had some great statistics last year as a junior, and then
Correct.
Jack Gartenstein, who's kind of maybe quarterback, but he could be a real good receiver, maybe quarterback, real good receiver. I was busting his chops at the camp. Said, "Who's you can't throw to yourself? Like you're a dude, you're a big X." Like he
Right.
goes, "I think I can," but he's got a lot of confidence, that kid, Jack.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
if those receivers you have, and you have a couple guys backing them up there, but those four is the makeup of your top position group on offense. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. It's a funny thing. We still got a couple little slots out there.
Yeah.
I know, with Dom and Matt. So we're pretty good at that. That I would say that's probably a very good group there.
Yeah.
And those four, those like I said, those guys all was part of that class last year to caught a lot of balls from Jordan last year. So we feel comfortable with those guys catching the ball.
But they're a unit. They're a unit, coach. So they all. When I say that, I mean I think they all need each other because when you
Yes,
spread to the
yes,
field left to right, that receiver Kevin Maloney was one of the top receivers
yeah,
statistically. I took him aside at the camp. I said, "You know why you were so successful? Because all those other guys, you can't cover everybody. Double
right.
team this guy, this guy. So he's kind of like the guy, the forgotten guy, the inside slot guy, and
Yeah, he could
right,
play both. The thing I liked about Kevin and Declan, right around Thanksgiving, those guys, aside from my workout, they were at like those they were doing.
yeah,
They had their own
yeah,
personal trainers for so they really like
yeah,
put everything aside. They really did football from those two guys from the day we stopped.
yeah.
And Damien also was playing basketball, and Jack was playing baseball. But I mean, that was awesome to see those guys. That the receiving group do all the things that you're supposed to do in the off season. So that was that was pretty good.
Coach, I really see. Back in the day, I had a kid by the name of Darmstadter, and then I had
Mhm.
another tight end named Morris.
Right.
Darmstadter went to Boston College, and the sophomore tight end that was real big, he eventually went to Purdue. And it's amazing what you do with tight ends when you put them both on the field at the same time and you flex one out. The
Yeah.
defense really bends and goes crazy. But you have two pieces with those two tight ends, Badila and Flaherty, that you can have a lot of fun with. A lot, because
Yeah.
they're
I
very,
think I
very
think
flexible.
I think it could be fun, and like again, you still got some guys back there that could run the football. You got some quarterbacks that could run the football. So you want to
Mm.
you got some things we could do with that group. Those
I,
guys can really run. I like those guys to really run down the hash. Those guys, like anytime you get tight ends that could block well,
yeah.
and they're and great athletes. I don't think I ever had that.
Well,
And
I coach. I love tight ends, and your tight ends. I got them rated very highly and rightfully
Okay.
so. Let's talk about your defense. And again, I saw a lot of your players moving around. Your line, you have so many pieces at linebacker. I think your
Yeah.
linebackers, you're probably going to bump some guys up to the front line playing DN. I love
Right.
Sam Mealy, Ray DeFrancisco, two seniors. Um,
But Ray's a junior. He started as a sophomore last year.
Ray's a junior.
Yeah.
You have Jason D. Michelle, who
Michael. Yeah.
DeMichael,
Yeah.
Shane Fox, and
Yeah.
Seven Miller, who could
Right.
be a DN or linebacker.
Right. And
Pretty
Bobby
flexible.
Owen also, he's big, strong, one of the
Yeah,
strongest kids on the team. You got some guys there. You got Kate, the linebacker, that wrestler linebacker. He's right in the mix too. Like you're deep, so guys kind of like it's tough because you're trying to rotate guys in practice. There's a good rotation going on. So
good.
love the competition.
I think that you have a lot of talent and a lot of pieces at linebacker that can, you want to put your best 11 out there. You might have like 9 linebackers out there, but they might be playing DN on rushing situations.
Yeah, yeah. You could have a situation. You got I don't know about nine. I need a couple of DBs out there, but you can have a few of them out there.
Yeah. Now, coach, special team wise, from what I hear, is that I think your kicking game, you have
Right.
a Piccadilly. How do you pronounce his name? Picado.
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 Picado. Yeah.
I heard about him. I think I'm hearing good things about your kicking game. Tell me something about your kicking game.
Well, I think one thing that you definitely want to have, you got to really push that part of football, is your especially your kicking game. That controls the field position. So he came up to me. He's a sophomore, will be a junior, and he started out, going to different camps. I mean, he was going to some camps in January and February and stuff, like, showing me videos of him kicking, and he's hitting them pretty good. So I like that he's, and we have we got some other young guys coming in the program that we kind of just trying to take that real seriously. That's a big part of the game. I think that you got to work from that from day one, and we've been really doing that.
All right, coach. Let's hear about the football players that you and I have talked about for the last couple weeks that you're excited about, the returners, and I also love hearing the newcomers.
Right.
Let's hear them.
All right. Returning starters on offense, of course, you with Damian Padilla, Jack Gardestein, lineman. You got Riley Johnson, uh, Campese, uh, Dan Bailey. Then you got the receiver, with Declan and Kev, all
Mm-hmm.
those guys that we already talked about. As far as the offensive side of the ball, I mean, Kevin was 6 in the shore, Jack was 12 in the shore catching the ball. Offensively, you got a few other linemen, newcomers with Sean Howell and I think Richie Diab has played started defensive line, but he looked like he could play a little offensive line.
Yeah, I like him.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you got a really a high motor guy that plays hard. Uh, so we like that. The front set, like say, we talked already a lot about the offense on the other segment, but on the front seven is still like one of the biggest things. Like a guy like Seven Miller, who played D line and could play D line or linebacker. Then we talk about Richard Diab. There's another kid, Alex Lorenzo, who's I think last year we saw him. I mean, he was a scout player,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like 160. And some of our guys that played in the All Shore game. I know Matt. So they put him up. He's coming on that. I said, "Well, whoa, who's this guy?" So it's pretty good, coach. So he's up to like from 160 to like 210. He's a hard working guy, high motor guy, So that's another guy that I think when I talked about him in the bank, like that dude,
He,
he's
he, got,
playing.
he got
Alex Lorenzo.
he got MVP at the Shore Best Camp.
He got MVP exactly. Yeah, and we had we had some starters over there too that started last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a big plus. Listen, we already know Declan and Damien are both are high end, can play both ways. But a good thing you could take those guys off with some of the outside backers with Bobby and Jason and guys like Fox, like Ray. Ray is Ray. Like he's one of our better. He's probably better cover. According to Ken Bradley, he's our better best cover linebacker. You know, Fox could play either over the top or down in the box. Emphasis on the front seven really. Uh, the DBs, you
Mm.
know, Zach Padilla. I don't think I said a word about him yet. I'm excited to have him back. I probably should have, kept him up there last year. From the beginning, he was covering our guys last year, but he was a freshman. We had a lot of guys. He was a freshman,
One of the
and
top sophomores in the shore. One of the top.
yeah, Zach is. Then I and even the kitchen Picado. I think I had a meeting the other day, and I talked about him coming out of last year. He wasn't even on the board, and now
Hmm.
he's going back in the camp as the other starting corner. Back in the August camp, the other starting corner. You got the part of the guy I thought that had the greatest off season, uh, Dom Marino. Like his strength got better. He was at all those camps, so he's one of those guys looking at safety. He could play still wide. Dom Marino had probably the most, the best off season advancement. Like some of the
Yeah.
guys, like we talked about the Declan. Those guys they were good in advance, but Dom was like he showed me some things that were positive. A couple. Well, I got another
Good.
receiver
Yeah.
that's his brothers play for me. He made some plays. You got Vince Meehan who was the freshman quarterback and middle linebacker last year. I put him at safety. I think in our 7-on-7 our first game, he had 2 picks in the game. I think the thing that helped him, I mean, he's like playing lacrosse out there without a stick. He's playing defense out there, So he's a guy. Then so on the defense side, and then you got those same guys with Jack and Meehan, and we had a transfer Josh quarterback and Nelms is as solid as you get as far as understanding the reads on offense. And I'm sure I'm leaving some guys off because we got like about Brandon Wright again. I keep saying, and Fox can run the ball. We got a it's a uh, full competition of players and everybody. And then we got some other freshmen. We got a couple guys. I mean, I, I even have a guy that's young. Remember Frank Conover from Freehold?
Yeah.
Conover. I got his nephew on the team. He's getting bigger
Defensive
and bigger.
end, right?
Conover's name.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got Strauss, another newcomer, benches 300 pounds as a freshman. You got Gavin Carr, basketball player, a couple track guys, Quincy Shaw and Wanda Hayes. You got a lot of guys that's. This should be interesting. Like I say, obviously, nothing is guaranteed. You
Hmm.
just work hard as you can as a coach and try to do the best you can. And like I say, as long as everybody is working as hard as they can, how can you have a problem with them? But I think we ended up pretty strong with a bunch of guys that bought into the off season. That I mean, I view as a coach, you may have 2 or 3 guys going to a camp or something. I think we might have had 20, 30 guys.
Hmm.
Trying, what the good part about not so much you going to try to get a scholarship, but when you're competing with not just guys in the short conference, but you're competing with guys throughout different states.
Hmm.
We had a bunch of guys at Rutgers, a bunch of guys at, the bottom line is you had a bunch of guys working against a lot of the top guys around, uh, not only in the short conference, like I said, but all the way through the state. And I think I pretty much, like I say, the whole thing, everybody worked hard. They did their best to get better. And we're just going to be, just positive and just keep trying to keep getting better. And I think the kids, I think how it is. You got to put a lot of hours in something before you can be good at something. And I
Hmm.
think, and I kind of preach that. I was an undersized player, and you know, uh, you just want to just keep that mentality with all the guys. I got another guy to even bring up as this guy named Anthony Rivera. He comes in there benching 300 pounds, a freshman. And I
Yeah.
was talking to the AD. He said, "Well, no, he's going to play." I said, "This guy," he said, "Yeah, he will play for you," because I didn't watch all the freshman game. So it's a group of kids. Danny Robertazzi. There's a bunch of guys, man. I just like the atmosphere, the how guys. These guys really they want something. I just want to try to just our coaching staff are all bought in. We all been around football a long time, and they want more. We keep
Mhm.
giving them more. That's pretty much how we look at it.
Well, Coach, I got a chance to, see your team up close. And what I liked about, I know they're good athletes. I think they're good kids,
Yes,
good character kids, kids that
yes,
really care about their teammates. I think that's the important part. And your best thing is what happened last season because you lost a lot of close games that I think you're going to win this year. And I think that's what's driving these kids. They want to win. They want to do well for you. They are good on and off the field, good high character kids. There's a lot of excitement at Howell. There really is. I've seen it. A lot of excitement. And like you said, when they went to a camp that was like 30 miles away and 25 to 30 kids are there, says a lot. Says a lot.
right,
Says a
yeah,
lot. They want to win. They
yeah.
want to win. They want to compete, and you got them in the right direction. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for
Well,
you this
thanks.
year.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I think like I'm glad for the opportunity to be back here, but it's still there is no such thing as you just show up. You gotta lead by example. You got to be there and make sure. And I think they see that they have a shot, and they're listening, and like I said, a bunch of great kids that's putting time in. You couldn't ask for being around a better group of kids, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
That's great, man. You've been all over the place, and
yeah,
now you're back home. Home, it's home. It's home.
yes,
You're in home, and in your second season, and you're going to be right in the mix in that division. I mean, that division's loaded, and coach, you're right in that mix. I can see you guys, competing at the very highest level with the caliber of guys that you have, and the excitement, the experience you have. It's an exciting time. It really is.
yeah. I think so. I think so.
Coach, thanks for
Well,
coming on the show.
thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I love working with the kids here. It's been a great experience. We're just moving forward, man. We just getting out there trying to get better every day. Yeah, that's all we.
Just trying to
That's all
get
we
it.
can ask.
Just trying to get a first down, right?
Yeah, just trying to get better. Yeah, just trying to, and stop people from getting first downs.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. That's right.
Yeah,
You will. You're going to have a lot of fun, Coach. I'll be on your sideline. Scott Stump will be on your sideline throughout the season. You got big
it's
games.
great to have him back. I haven't seen him in a while. It's great to have him back.
Yeah, he's back, and you're gonna be in a lot of big games, and rightfully so. You got everything going in the right direction. I'm happy for you, proud of you. Keep going, working hard. All right, and
Appreciate it.
tell all those boys at Howell. All right, good luck.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
You got it,
Thank you.
Coach.
Take care.
All right, what's up? Now we have Howell football players, 2 seniors and 2 juniors. We had to make it even, guys. Thanks for coming on the Shore Football Report.
Thanks for having me, Coach.
Long time no see, man, right? I saw you a couple times. I saw you in 7-on-7s. I saw you at the Shore Best Camp. And I'm going to see you during the season, right?
Yep.
We're family now. Let me introduce you guys. From left to right, just give a good wave when I call your name. Up top, we have senior tight end outside linebacker Damian Padilla. Damian, there we go. Up in the middle, we have senior Jack Gartenstein, quarterback/receiver. And then to the right, up top to the right, we have junior Declan Flaherty, a tight end outside linebacker. And last but not least, all the way on the bottom to the left, we have junior Kevin Maloney, wide receiver/cornerback. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
I don't need to introduce myself. You know who I am. You guys watch me. All right, enough's enough. Let's get to these things, guys. I've done a lot of study on all the programs, and now we're going to talk about you. Here's 5 questions I need to know about your program. And then after that, I know it all. I know everything about you guys. You ready? 5. This is important for me. Start number 1. And I think I know the answer. Who's the funniest dude on your team? Who's the funniest dude on your team? I think I know who it is. Who's the funniest dude? Who makes Coach Hill and everybody laugh at times when you need that to laugh once in a while?
I got a name, and I think they're all gonna agree with me.
All right.
And that is Ray DeFrancisco.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
I'm saying Ray's definitely up there.
Ray, I like Ray.
Oh,
7. Ray and 7.
And who?
yeah, 7.
Seven Miller?
7 Millers are going to. Yeah.
They're both funny linebackers.
Yeah.
I knew something funny was going on over there in the defensive drills. Declan, you agree with him, or do you got anybody else out there that we need to know?
Yeah, I agree with them 100% on those two guys for sure.
There's no linemen that are funny in Howell?
Well, I mean, there's funny linemen, obviously.
Nah,
but,
nah.
Riley Johnson. Riley
No,
Johnson.
like you're talking top guys.
Yeah.
Those are your top guys.
Okay. Good. So you got some two funny guys on defense. We'll add Riley Johnson in there too to make people laugh at times, right? Good. Now, next one I got is this. Who are the leaders? When Coach Hill has a message, there's always one guy or maybe two guys that echo it out with group messages, texts, Instagrams, whatever. But who echoes out what the coaches need for you guys to know with a practice or paperwork or punctuality at an event? Who is the dude?
I could answer this.
Who?
I think Jack and Richie Diaz.
I'm saying Richie.
Richie
off the top of my head. Yeah, definitely Richie.
I noticed.
Richie.
I noticed that about Richie at the Shore Best camp because he told me I text everyone, so I knew the answer about with Howell. He said he does do that. Good. It's important to have somebody to echo it out what Coach wants you guys to know. Good. Number 3. Let's see. Normal. Getting back to normal. You all haven't worked out for 2 years. So think of it. The seniors have not had a normal offseason workout since after their freshman year. Damien, you started off. Tell me how great it was to be back to normal in the offseason.
I think it was cool being able to use the weight room more. As if in the COVID season, we were like kind of limited to how much we were in there. A lot of us are getting better. They're taking advantage of the opportunity, the weight room, the workouts, even when we don't have practice, we're all like doing something as a team. So I think it's like just a major help that we don't have to deal with under the COVID anymore.
Good. Jack?
So before COVID hit, Sinkhorn was still our head coach. And we used to have winter workouts with him. And then when he decided to resign, it was like a couple weeks later that COVID hit. And we were all shut down and we couldn't do anything. Edge came in and he wanted to get us in the weight room as much as possible. But there were a lot of restrictions for that. Like we had like Zoom calls where we would like work out together, like on a Zoom call, because we couldn't work out together in person.
Life was different. Yeah.
And then starting last year, I forget like when we were allowed to work out in the gym together. The second we were allowed to work out together in the gym, the energy was up immediately. Like it was like we never missed a beat. Like it was good. It was the energy, the intensity. People were putting up weight. It was nice to see.
Nice. Good. Dak?
Yeah, so what I liked coming back out after the whole COVID thing was just getting the familiarity with a lot of the coaches that were there and familiarity with your teammates. You know, I feel like football, you got to kind of build that trust. You got to trust the guy next to you. So spending more time with people in the weight room and just kind of working together in the weight room definitely helps that.
Nice. Kev?
I mean, they hit a lot of spots. Very good. And I liked how, like, we got involved with, like, all the younger kids, too. And, like, they helped out and everything. And we got to meet all of, like, our new coaches because we got a couple new coaches on the coaching staff. Mm-hmm. So everything was just so much better once.
In my program, what I was known for, guys would sign into the weight room, and how they signed out, they gave me a fist pump all the time. And I always knew everybody was in there. So bang, bang, bang. The players said they missed the most was the pound. And that was the best thing. Would always give them a fist pound when they left. Coach, got to go. And that was the rule. You couldn't leave the weight room unless you did that to me. And that was the one thing that the players missed. And when we came back, it was like we were back to normal. It was awesome. It was good. You know, everybody's got their own ritual with that. Now, let's see. 4, I want to know not what the coaches are thinking. I want to know what's inside the locker room at Howell. What are your expectations? I've seen it up close. I've seen you guys, like I said, at the 7-on-7s. I saw you at the Shore Best camp. I want to know in your locker room, the door's shut, no coaches around. What's the expectations at Howell this year for football? We're gonna start with Kevin.
All right. I think we're gonna be a lot better than we were last year. We had a lot of close games last year that I think we should have won. and I think we'll be able to finish those games out this year. Listen, like at the start, like our first 77s, it was a little shaky, but not last week, literally a couple days ago, we played very good together. The intensity was up, and I feel like we're gonna have a good year this year.
Yeah, I think you guys are a pretty tight bunch. Jack, fill it in.
So I think that so far this summer, like we've been working hard and we've been having trust in each other and all the stuff that comes with that. I feel like once we come back in August, whenever our first day back is, that is going to be something that all of us take a lot of pride in, and we're all going to work even harder than we ever have been. And I think we're just going to keep going up from there. It's going to be fun to watch.
Damien, what's the expectations for the team, not for you?
As you said, like last season, we were in every game. This season, I mean, I think it's going to be way different. We got a good bond. As of last year, our chemistry wasn't like, we were not all cool with each other, well, most of us. But I think we got a good bond this year. We're all working hard. We're putting in extra work. I think it's going to be a good season.
Good. Deck?
I thought last year we had a lot of close games, and I feel like we were just a team that we could have finished it. We could have finished it out, and we could have won. But I think this year, we're going to learn how to win a lot better. And I think we're going to understand a lot more that like winning is a given, and that you got to work if you want to win.
Awesome. Great answers. Guys, last one, and then I'm going to let you guys go, is this. Tell everybody why it's so special to be playing football at Howell under Coach Hill. Deck, you go first.
I enjoy it now because coming up after Edge left, there was kind of like you didn't know what was going to happen after that. And so Coach Hill came in and he kind of gave us structure, right? And
right when you needed it. Yep.
Right, exactly. And so that would probably be my big thing for me.
Good. Damien, go ahead. Tell me why it's so special to be playing for Howell.
Coach Hill, I think Coach Hill really knows what he's doing. I like what he's doing with the program and really moving that losing mentality out. He's trying to put that winning mentality in everybody's heads. He knows a lot of people. We got a whole new coaching staff, bunch of great guys. I think it's going to change a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kevin, go ahead.
What the guy said, basically, Coach Hill, he's been great to us. He had to step in at a rough time, and even though he might yell at us sometimes, be mad at us, it's always for the best. And he just wants us to win. He wants our team to be a winning team, and that's perfect for me.
Awesome. Jack, finish it off right here. You end it. You take it. Tell me why it's great to be at Howell.
So the name Bill Hill and Howell definitely means a lot to almost everyone that lives in this town. The old people who are around his age, they know who he is.
Wait. The old people around his age, he's old?
I'm just saying the older people, older than me.
Yeah. I knew what you meant. Yeah.
He's easily one of the most cemented people in Howell when it comes to sports and whatever. So you get a chance to play for him, you gotta make him look good. You gotta make your mark on Howell. You want him part of that. He's a big name that's gonna carry that, and you don't want to let him down.
I agree with everything you guys said, and let me tell you one thing about Coach Hill. First of all, he's one of the good guys out there. Calls me all the time. Always pushes for you guys in your program, and you're right. He wants to bring that winning mentality from top to bottom. He really does. And bringing you to all those different events, 7-on-7s, and the Shore Best camps are just a little bit of what he wants from you guys. And you guys look like you're bonded like a team. And you're right. He got it. He got the program in tough position during the COVID type of part. So, that's hard to do as a coach, especially when you're concerned about a big program like you that has 100 players on it, right? So I'm looking at Howell to have a successful season on and off the field this year. I think you're in agreement. I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. All right. Now, I got one question though. You're in Florida right now, right, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay. The weather here. So you left New Jersey to go to warmer weather, or is it colder there? Because it's 95 here now.
Right before I got on this call, I was looking on the weather. It's 98 in Howell, 84 where I am right now.
So you went there to cool off in Florida.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Crazy, Dame. It's crazy, huh? Yep, good for you. Enjoy the weather. Football's right around the corner. Shore Football Report would be covering you guys really, really soon. Keep working hard. And a lot of expectations are out there for you guys, rightfully so. Not just because of you four, because of the other guys, too, that you were representing talking here today. All right? I want to thank you guys.
Coach.
All right?
That's
Be good. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.